Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tipping Point, the power of clarity, where we explore how small changes make a big difference in people's lives. And so today, our guest is Zappy. That's like his full name. It's like Madonna. He's like an incredible entrepreneur, luminary, business owner, award winning filmmaker. And he's so busy on the road crushing life that I'm going to catch him for a quick little interview in his car. So a little background about Zappy. He Harvard MBA, worked in Wall Street, decided he wanted to change everything, and started working with Deepak Chopra and many of the personal development luminaries to make films and teach people. And his whole message is search inside yourself. Find answers inside of yourself and focus on gratitude. So he's going to give us his perspective, his life, and we're so happy to have him. Hey, Zappy.
Hey, Amina, how are ya?
Hi, welcome. I see you're in your car. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You're so busy. We just captured you in this moment while you were on your way somewhere. So
Yeah, totally. I'm up and down the coast of California this week, so very excited. So good to be here, though.
that's awesome. Well, thank you for joining. Zappy, why don't you start out with telling people a bit about your personal background, and then we can jump into your tipping point.
Sure. I grew up in Boston, and I wound up when I graduated college, I went and worked on Wall Street, and I had an amazing career there. I became a vice president at Bear Stearns, and everything's going great. And I decided to be more entrepreneurial, and I got into the infomercial business back in the early 90s. And when I saw the internet happen in the late 90s, I started to get into the domain name space, realizing that this was like the future of real estate. So I wound up buying beer.com and diamond.com and creditcards.com, developing those and having a really nice career of that. And, kind of at some point, my tipping point was I sort of did everything that society told me to do. Go to school, get a job, make money, have a family, and you'll be totally fulfilled. And I was sitting there having done all of that, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm not fulfilled. Is there something wrong with me? I did it, and I'm just not feeling fulfilled. I feel moments of happiness, but I can't really even feel empathy for other people. I'm like, I'm lost here. And in that moment, I was pretty despondent. I was like, wow, should I kill myself? Like, something's up. Like, I need to either feel fulfillment, or why bother living? Why bother doing anything? And, in that moment, I thought back to some of the early psychedelic experiences that I had as a teen, and they were very positive. At the time I was just doing them, like a kid does, just to, try something. But in there were sparks of something bigger than myself. And I decided about 12 years ago that I was gonna go inside of myself and look for some answers and tried to get more empathy. And if I couldn't do it, then, what's the use? I might as well kill myself. But if I could find some kind of, something deeper, something worth living for, then that would be what I was looking for. And thank God I had heard about shamans, people going and sitting with them in the jungle and having incredible plant medicine experiences. And I convinced myself that this was the only path left. And I was going to go do these plant medicines. And if something changed and shifted, then great. If not, then, really, what's the use? But at least I tried everything I could try. And that was my tipping point moment to take action and go down to the jungle with intention to sit and do ayahuasca and do San Pedro and these powerful plant medicines, transformative medicines, to see if I could get figure out what my own frequency vibration is. Because I think right now we're having, like you said, an empathy crisis where you want to care about people and you do, and you start thinking about how you could help, and then boom, your phone rings or the next thing and you get distracted. It's like you never get the chance to put yourself in somebody else's actual shoes. And I think when you have these powerful plant medicine transformative experiences where you actually can put yourself in other people's shoes and live through their life, when you come out of that, you have exponentially more empathy. And for me, being able to just feel what other people are feeling and be connected is what I was looking for. And then to be able to share that when I came out of that experience, I think, that's the process. That's the formula. Listen to your intuition, go inside of yourself, and then share what you've learned. I think as a formula, if you go by that, you're going to be very stable after that to understand, what resonates with you and what doesn't.
Yeah. Sounds like that's your formula for clarity. And that's awesome, right? Like, let's break that down. Like, how did you come up with that formula, number one, and how do you use it?
So, it sometimes it's hard to, listen to your own intuition because there's so many people and media and everything coming at you. And quite frankly, I don't even think our brains are built to handle this level of information and technology. So in order to get there, you're going to have to really, to listen to your intuition, you're going to have to kind of get still. And a lot of people do that through meditation, through breathing. And I've had great experience with transcendental meditation, Kriya breathing. I kind of went around and tried to figure out what ways could I go inside of myself for these answers and healing that I'm looking for, and how can I figure out what my frequency vibration is. And so through meditation, through breathing, you really can get there. I think the issue is that we have so much coming at us and we're being bombarded that a lot of times it's hard for people to just sit down and get quiet. And that's where some of these transformational plants and transformational compounds, they like smash you through the barrier. And then once you're there, you say, aha, okay, this is what stillness is about. This is my frequency vibration. And you get comfortable with it. And then you start to be able to spend more time in your own frequency. And I think, like, for me, it's so helpful because before I had these breakthrough experiences and knew what my frequency vibration was, when people would ask me, hey, Zappy, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this project? Hey, you have to help us do this. I would be like, yes, yes, yes. I would just say yes to everything. And now, after my going inside and getting in connection with my frequency vibration, when people ask me, hey, Zappy, you want to do this or that? And I say, you know what? That doesn't really resonate with me. No, you know what? I'm not going to do that. And I've been able to, you know, live a better life because I now know what resonates with me and I can say yes and no with full confidence that I'm doing the right thing for me.
Wow. So that was the magic for you. Like, you got alignment about who you are and how you make decisions, and that was the clarity. Is like, sounds to me like you were living a life that was just given to you from a prescription, right? It's like, hey, go to school, go to grad school, become an investment banker, and none of that was right for you. You never
Yeah.
felt authentic about it. And so that's where the
Yeah.
crisis came. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I think I was really lucky because, we're in this golden moment where the internet has disintermediated information, scientific knowledge is known to everybody, basic science, and travel is available and language barriers have been broken down. So in this time, it's like this beautiful moment where if people realize and they have, just really get into a gratitude state about the fact that they are living in the best time ever, where life expectancy is longer than it's ever been. We have all these creature comforts, we have all these incredible tools to use, and they're here for our benefit. But if you don't go inside of yourself and understand what your frequency vibration is, this is your vibration before, everybody told you how to think and all these institutions told you what to do. If you can get back to that frequency vibration, everything is going to make sense. And that's why, I've been called like a psychedelic concierge to the stars, but I just really am sharing the information I have, and I'm getting contacted by people who, it's really interesting because usually people think, well, celebrities who have lots of money and power and fame, like they have everything. What more could they ask? And some of these people are the most damaged people because they're not vibrating at their own frequency. They're just sort of playing this role for everybody else. And
Yeah.
so, the movie I made with Lamar Odom, Lamar Odom Reborn, he came to me at a really dark place in his life, and he had tried everything else. And a friend of his told him about what I was doing, and I convinced him to go inside of himself really deep, and he trusted me. And I wound up giving him some treatments of ketamine to stabilize him. And he'd never been inside of himself before. He'd always been looking for happiness and fulfillment and answers outside of himself. And once he got comfortable, I wound up taking him down to Mexico to do ibogaine, which is an African root that can break even a heroin or a meth addiction in one day session. And we did that. He came out of it. He had an incredible experience, thank God. And now we're out sharing that experience and showing people that, like Lamar, these things are not, you take it and you're fixed. It's like, no, you take the medicine, but you're still yourself. And so then you go back into your regular life and you figure out what resonates with you. And now he's able to look at things and say no to things and realize what's giving him happiness and fulfillment in a way that he never was before. So he and I are hoping that in sharing this movie that, we can show other people that, just because you have what looks like everything in your life, if you don't have, yourself and your own base frequency, life's not going to be that great for you.
Awesome. Wow. Well, you just gave us a ton of awesome information. It sounds like your formula. Would you say it again for everyone?
Yeah, sure. So you first have to listen to your own intuition. You go inside of yourself, and I'm going to add a couple more things here, which is trust nature and don't take anything too seriously.
Ah,
And then lastly, share, because when you have these experiences, you have so much, unique information that is so important right now in society that it's beyond just an obligation to share. It's actually, obviously, when you share, it's part of your own healing. It's doing
nice.
work and you're benefiting.
Yeah, great. It sounds like your formula has been the answer for you and it helped you get past your tipping point. So, Zappy, before we close, how do we find you? There's so much going
Um,
on. You're doing so much.
Yes. Probably the best place to look is zappyzappolin.com, ZAPPYZAPOLAN.com. You can find me there. You can find at Zappy Zappolin on Instagram and places. But yeah, I'm trying to make myself available and just let people know, especially like right in this crisis moment, there are solutions. There is a way for us to get more empathy instantly. And I just want to say lastly, Amina, that, I've noticed that for people to get instantly more empathy, they either have a near-death experience or they have some type of a transformational experience using things like plant medicine. And so for that reason, if we can use these tools to create more empathy and then get a critical mass of people who have more empathy, it's going to be really easy to solve all these major problems we have: violence, eco destruction, lack of water, all these things. If enough people are thinking with enough empathy, it's easy to solve all these problems. And so how we get that, we're going to have to go for empathy. And the place I think also to go is gratitude. I know a lot of people say, it's all about love and just, think about love and all that. And it's like, no, gratitude is the place to start, because when you realize how lucky you are in this moment for all the things happening in your life, or just the fact that, we have, the sun is a certain, distance from our planet. So we have an atmosphere, and we're using cell phones, talking to people in video in China in real time. It's like everything is a miracle, and we have to tune back into that miracle. And we have these tools that bring you back to the miracle, give you more empathy, and then allow you to share that with other people in a really fulfilling way. So we have the tools, and we get there through gratitude. So thank you for doing this show. It's very on point.
Nice. Thanks, Zappy. Thanks everyone for joining. See you next time.
Later.